Hi, Isaac. Great to be talking with you.
Good to be talking with you.
You joined the show in season two.
That's right.
How was it coming into that and taking over? Because you made quite a lot of changes from the season one, didn't you?
We changed everything. Yeah, look, it was fun. It was cool because the first season had such an incredibly sophisticated and beautiful look. And it was recognized for having such a cool look. And the thought of changing it was even more exciting because it was like, wow, everyone loves the way that it looks. We're going to completely change everything about it. Like we better really get this right. It's such a huge challenge when you have so much to live up to. It's like you have, it's just this personal development thing. It's like you're going to have to really rise to the occasion. So um what we realized was the thing is we couldn't do the look from the first season. We literally could not, I think, because the thing that made the first season so special was that look really came from the voices of the cinematographer and the director of that season. It's very, very personal. If you look at Autumn Durald Arkapaw, who shot the first season, if you look at her previous work, it looks like Loki season one. Like that's her look, right? So I just, if I tried to do that, I would have stumbled and fell right on my face. So I figured the secret wasn't so much anything that they did specifically aesthetically or any technique that they used or lighting or whatever. That wasn't what made it look good. What made it look good was Autumn bringing herself to the project, right?
Yeah.
So what I realized was if I'm going to do as good of a job as she did, what I need to do is clear all that old stuff off of the board and just act as if I was the one shooting the first episode of the first season. Just rebuild the look from the ground up to be 100% tailored to my sensibilities and interests as a cinematographer. And Marvel was like, great, that sounds good to us.
It's awesome that they gave you that,
Yeah.
you know. How did you get involved with it?
Um, I was referred by a friend, essentially, friend of a friend, the classic kind of things.
Yeah, good. So one of the things that I think, I mean, there's a lot of stuff like you say that you change in terms of cameras and
Yeah.
lenses and all that sort of stuff. I think to a layman, the most noticeable thing would probably be there's a sort of switch to a much more handheld kind
Yes,
of
I agree.
using. Yeah. So from that side of things, I mean, the show's frantic as it is. So I mean, it works so well. But was that also a decision looking at the script this season to change over to
Yeah,
that?
it was. It was sort of a mix of the material. When you're trying to crack an approach, you always look in the material and you say, well, what is it suggesting to us? What is warranted given, the story itself? And yes, as you mentioned, it's frantic. They're in a nuclear meltdown situation, basically, and they're scrambling around trying to prevent it. So it's super high energy. Um, but also the approach, that handheld approach, comes from the directors that were hired to do the season. Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. They've directed 5 or 6 independent films, and that's the approach they've brought to all of them. This is an approach that they've been developing from the first season. It's not just handheld. It's a very unique, specific way of shooting handheld where, the handheld camera tries to capture the entire scene all in one shot rather than breaking it up. We actually begin shooting every scene with a oneer. The oneer never ends up getting used, but it's like the spine of the scene, and you keep revisiting it in the edit, and it acts as a way to like link different pieces of the scene together because the camera's really roaming all over the place. And that is something that came from Justin and Aaron. And it's a very unique way of working, especially on a project at this scale.
Yeah, that's a really interesting way of doing it. And I mean, of course, the show it has a lot of VFX in it as
Mm,
well.
yeah.
how is it approaching the sort of cinematography and working with those VFX stuff?
The VFX supervisor on Loki is just as integral to the process as the production designer or the editor or myself or the directors. They're right there at all times on set in Video Village. So they're one of our core collaborators, right? In this case, Chris Townsend, who's a brilliant, brilliant man and taught us a lot. But, you know, they're really there just to make sure we don't screw up too bad, because usually the process with VFX is just shoot whatever you want, and then the VFX people will do their thing later. You know, it's not as complicated as it's made out to be. There's you know, there's boo-boos you can make, like if a character goes off of the blue screen, you know, or a light. A lot of times it's like a light is too hot. The VFX soup is like, where's that light coming from? Like, because they're thinking I'm gonna have to put something in frame there that's motivating that. And then interactive lighting, of course, you know, Miss Minutes is orange. She's flying around. So sometimes you need to chase an orange light around that touches people's faces. Other times not, you know, and they're the ones that kind of make that call, that decision of when to do it, why to do it. But the handheld is pretty okay. What the VFX supervisors hate are zooms.
Yeah. So yes, avoiding zooms as much as possible.
Good luck with that. Yeah, we love Zoom.
Oh well. Well, I think that's probably about my time, but it's been lovely to just quickly catch up with you. I love the series. I no idea what they're gonna do for the last two episodes, because after the end of episode 4, who knows where they go from there. But I'm so looking forward to seeing it. So thank you for spending the time. It's
Thank
been
you.
lovely chatting. Cheers. All right. Bye.